Okay, USD CAD, no interest rate changes coming here, although Canadian data is generally pretty good. Commodities are still bid. The Canadian currency benefits from gold, silver, oil. It is one of the commodity currencies, and I think Canada has a decent advantage right now. We're also getting close to parity. So, once again, we're in a bit of a range here, and we're in a much better defined range, I think, with this pair. My 3-month sentiment is bearish. I think well within 3 months we could get to parity, and once we get to parity, anything goes from there. A lot of people believe that this pair deserves to be more up around 115, 120. But for right now, the charts are still telling me to sell it, and I'd feel really more comfortable selling it until we got to parity, and then maybe set up a much longer term swing trade to try to take advantage of the move back. And I think, once again, it never hurts anybody, but I think Canada's going to be in the news a lot over the next month too with the Olympics, and they're going to be doing a very good job of showing their country in a positive light. And I think from a budget standpoint, they've been very responsible, and probably one of the more forward-thinking governments that's out there as far as maintaining their economy and their currency. So I'm not going to bet against the Canadian unit yet. Let's take a look at the chart here. All right, so another downward sloping trend. It tried to break. Oftentimes when a trend line breaks like this, I don't immediately look at that as a trend change. I mean, I expect consolidation, and we see the consolidation that's occurring here. But we also see that here again, I mean, we're not making higher highs, and we're making some lower lows. We're also sitting right near a pretty key support that we haven't gotten under in recent times. We haven't been there for, since September of last year. We're close enough here, and with the fundamental nudge I'm getting, I would rather sell this pair. In fact, I probably already should have sold this pair up here, didn't. But I would definitely play this to the short side, and I would stick with that until parity, unless something fundamentally different happens in the next month or so. I think we could see parity pretty quick. So let's, all right, Euro versus the pound. In Europe, neither of these two very large economic areas are doing very well. Fundamentally, I believe that the Eurozone is in better shape than the UK. And we've talked about all the headwinds that both units change. Nobody's going to change interest rates in the next 6 months. The data's back and forth. Right now they're in a range. And now kind of against what I feel from a fundamental standpoint, I do think that we're going to see this pair be bearish, and I'll show you why on the chart here. We have come all the way down. There was a trend there. We broke it. We came back. We didn't quite test it. We tested this support, and then we flew. Couldn't make a new high. And we came back down. We found some decent support right in here. If you notice, I mean, we've been bumping up against this support a bunch, but we haven't made new highs up here. So, and even if we do, we got support here, we got support here, we got support there, resistance here, resistance here, resistance at that trend line, and it looks to me like what this pair wants to do is it wants to push through this support here, and if it does, it can come all the way down to here. So even though I believe fundamentally that the UK is probably not in as great a shape, the charts are telling me that this pair wants to be sold right now, especially to try to take advantage of a breakout of this descending triangle kind of piece. If you let this, if it does, and you get it to come back up here and test up here, you could get a very tight stop here put some decent size on it, and you know, play that coming back down. If it breaks this support, it could go all the way down to here in a reasonably short amount of time. So think about that, see how that fits into your system and your risk appetite, but that's how I see that chart. Let's see, we'll take a look at one more cross.